Yo, what's up, Eagles Nation? It's your guy, Cool Eagle, back here with another video. Just had to take that needed R&R from Eagles football. Just because of, if you're like me, you've dealt with anxieties these first 8 weeks, man. From the top of the organization to the bottom. Deal with practice squad players coming in and out the lineup, if they're going to be good, if they're not going to be good. Uh, Carson Wentz looking like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL per the numbers. Man, Doug Peterson having as much creativity as a kindergartner doing macaroni art. That's how creative he is right now. His play calling, and Jim Schwartz is not, is not innocent of that either. He has had his ebbs and flows this year, and that game against Pittsburgh probably put me on edge with Jim Schwartz, like a lot of you. But for this particular video, man, this is going to be really about what Carson Wentz, the focal point of our team, the reason we make or don't make the playoffs this year. What's been going on with him from an analytical standpoint the first 8 weeks, and what he and his team can do to make a solid push going into these last 8 games, which are going to be kind of like the playoffs again, because we need to win them and win our division. Okay, so the main point of the video, okay, is just defending Carson Wentz first half of the season while also keeping him accountable, because I think we gloss over some things that changed with Carson Wentz's surroundings compared to what he had last year, okay? And I'm just going to go into a quick list of that because, okay, so 2019, Carson Wentz had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with 15 fumbles. I didn't get how many were lost. I think it was like 5 or 6. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments. To this year, okay, to game 8, he has 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, which is more than what he's thrown over the past 3 years. So there's a reason for that. There has to be a reason for that. And we're going to get into that, the whole contextual evidence of everything. Okay, 15 fumbles he had last year. He has over half of that in the first 8 games of the year, which isn't good, which isn't something that you want to see from your franchise quarterback going into a contract year, okay? Now, here's where the context comes in, okay? Carson Wentz's interception percentage from last year has gone up 3.9%, okay, which is the highest compared to his last 3 years. First downs are down 50%, which explains why you're starting to see a lot more of these 3 and outs be prevalent on our offense. He has his worst QBR since his rookie year, which I didn't think was possible, but that's startling. That's really startling. And he's 32 sacks in 8 games. He had just 37 last year in the 16 games he played, which is also an alarming sign, okay? And his sack percentage is up to 9.5% from 5.7 all last year. So what is really going on with Carson Wentz? Well, we know he's getting hit more. We know he's getting pressured more. We know he's getting sacked more. Carson Wentz is having a career this year kind of like Andrew Luck, man. He's getting hit so much. He's turned the ball over at an alarming rate, but he still manages to keep you in ball games with the throws that only he and other elite quarterbacks can make, i.e., that throw to Boston Scott, which we know he threw a lot of at North Dakota State. So these, which also explains why Carson Wentz's 4-quarter comebacks are already up to what, half of what he had, well, like over to what he had from last year, because he had 4 last year. This year, he's already up to 3. So I mean, like, that lets you know that the games are tighter, the hits are gone up, the amount of times he's being pressured has gone up, although we can argue a lot of these were his fault. But at the same time, you also got to consider if your blocking scheme has changed from having all-pro Jason Peters, all-pro Jason Kelsey, All-Pro Brandon Brooks and All-Pro Lane Johnson, it's a huge difference when you don't have those guys on your offensive line compared to what you have now as a string of rookies like that you're putting together. Let's put it all into context. Carson Wentz is getting hit more at a faster rate than he had last year. He's getting sacked twice as often as he was last year, 5.7 to 9.5. That's over a 75% increase. Okay, and then let's also check out another fact. Zach Ertz had 404 yards by game 8 last year. He has 178 right now. Dallas Goedert, 221 by game 8 last year. He has 19 in 153. So altogether, tight end production is down from 625 yards in game 8, by game 8 last year, to 331. That's a 75.5% decrease in tight end production. Things that were working out for Carson Wentz and things that weren't happening to Carson Wentz are suddenly becoming more prevalent, which is why you see the change in his accuracy, which is a career low. Interceptions, a career about to be a career high by week 8. He's getting hit more, sacked more, which is why you see these turnovers. Him want to play hero ball because he knows that he's getting flinchy in that pocket. Now, whether this is just a scheming problem or all on Carson Wentz, things have to change. Carson Wentz has to get hit less. He has to be protected more, which may change the way he approaches the game. Maybe he won't want to play hero ball as much because he's not under as much pressure. And then let's not also forget the fact that Doug Peterson is one of the only few coaches, probably the only coach in the NFL to not have an offensive coordinator. This changes how a quarterback looks at the field because he has the perspectives of more than two guys. The only two perspectives that Carson Wentz should have in his mind are Doug Peterson and his offensive coordinator. Right now, Carson, along with getting hit more and not having the same personnel, although the young wide receiver group has been coming up as of late these past few games, these are the facts that the changes that have happened around Carson Wentz. And the fact that he has more than two voices in his ear at one time while also having to, talk with his quarterback coach, Press Taylor, who has recently said on an interview that Carson Wentz understands, and he's been talked to already about the way of the Philadelphia Eagles and the quarterback play that they expect and how football security is a high priority for this team. Actually, it's a top priority per Press Taylor. So if you just take into account of all these things, do they still do these change your perspective on Carson Wentz, or do they just validate the fact that Carson Wentz is just not playing up to par to what we need him to be this year? And do you believe that Carson Wentz can get it together these last 8 games of the year? Well, as history has shown me, Carson Wentz is a second half of the season kind of quarterback. Because when the chips are aligned and when you need to get a playoff push, Carson Wentz has showed he can do that, and I believe that that he and this team can get it right. So let me know what you guys think in the comments.